full realization of the high calling, assumed the office of the People's President of the Republic of Kenya. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all remember the day Miguna saw in Raila Odinga at Uhuru Park. Hii ilikuwa ni baada ya election kati ya Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Raila was sworn in as the people's president and the oath was administered by Miguna. At that time, the Minister for Interior was Matiang'i. After that incident at Uhuru Park, the government mercenaries came with a plan to deport Miguna to Canada. Remember, during Moi's time, Miguna had gone into exile in Canada. And I think it is at that time that he renounced his citizenship and he acquired Canadian citizenship. So the government at that time was using that to their advantage. They claim that Miguna is not a Kenyan, he's a Canadian. That's why they decided to deport him back to his country. A lot happened. In case you missed that drama at the airport, before I proceed on what Matiang'i said today about Miguna's deportation, let me play you this short clip.
I'm not boarding. I don't have a passport. I'm not boarding. I'm not going. Where are my luggage? Where is my passport? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. The captain cannot fly.
Put that down.
The captain cannot fly.
Put that phone down.
The captain cannot fly. The captain cannot fly. These are the court orders. Read them. This court order say I must be in this country.
Now, after all that drama, Miguna was still deported back to Canada. And I want to tell you why Miguna was deported back to Canada and why the government took the advantage of Miguna denouncing his citizenship back in the 1980s during the Moi's era. Miguna was exiled, and according to the old constitution, before the 2010 constitution, you could not have dual citizenship. That's why Miguna was supposed to sign a certain document so that he can regain back his citizenship. Matiang'i has really explained today on what really transpired and why Miguna was taken back to Canada after refusing to sign a certain document. Let me play you that clip.
There is a ruling by Justice Lenaola when he was in the High Court. I mean, go to the records and read it. There is a ruling by Justice Lenaola prescribing how you would regain your citizenship when you had renounced it. Because in the old constitution, we did not have a provision where you would be a citizen of two countries. And many countries insisted that for you to be given citizenship of another country, you had to renounce your own citizenship in another country, in your country. We ourselves came up with a very simple form at the Department of Immigration to enable Kenyans who had renounced their citizenship because of those challenges of the 80s and so on, to gain citizenship very easily. The form will take you probably a minute and a half to fill. By the time that drama was unfolding here at the airport, about 200,000 Kenyans had already gained their citizenship through that simple little form, that is some miserable little form that people would just sign and go along with it. Now, this brother travels on a Canadian passport all the way to Nairobi. And when he gets there, he says he wants to enter using an ID card. Of course, it's astounding. Of course, you know yourself that cannot happen.
Now, after Miguna refusing to sign that document that could make him regain back his citizenship, the government decided to use Raila Amolo Odinga. Matiang'i has today revealed that they sent Raila Amolo Odinga at the airport to convince Miguna to sign that document so that he could not be deported, so that he could regain back his citizenship. But Miguna was still afraid. Miguna did not accept to sign that document. That's why he was later deported back to Canada. Matiang'i even revealed that they used even the embassy of Canada to convince Miguna he should not be afraid that he'll be arrested maybe if he signed that document. But Miguna was adamant. He did not accept what he was being offered at that particular time. There have been blames that Miguna was betrayed by Raila Amolo Odinga. Today, Matiang'i has revealed that Raila Amolo Odinga tried to save Miguna from being deported. He tried to convince him to sign a certain document so that he could regain back his citizenship, but he refused. Here is the statement, Miguna explaining how they decided to send Raila Amolo Odinga to the airport to try and save Miguna.
Then the government goes all the way, including moving Yaya House to the airport so that we could give him the passport. The director of immigration himself and everybody else. And he refuses to sign that little funny, miserable form. And then the government does everything, including sending former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to the airport to persuade him. And then talking to the Canadian High Commission in Nairobi because he had a Canadian passport, asking the Canadian High Commissioner to extend consular services to him. So in case he feared that he would be arrested, since he arrived here on a Canadian passport, he could not be arrested because of that. So we told the Canadian High Commission, extend consular services to him, we'll give him a passport as long as he clears with a Canadian passport from the airport. Within 24 hours, he will have his passport. He refuses to do those kinds of things.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how Miguna was deported back to Canada after refusing to sign that document, after refusing to listen to Raila Amolo Odinga's advice, after refusing to listen to the Canadian Embassy or Commissioner's advice. People have been blaming Raila Amolo Odinga for never helping Miguna back into this country. But today, Matiang'i has cleared the air on what happened, on the effort Raila made to make sure that Miguna is not deported. So that's why Miguna has been outside of the country till when Ruto came into power, and Ruto facilitated his coming back into the country. And I think that Fred Matiang'i is just doing this to clear the air on matters, the sensitive matters that happened during his time as the Interior Cabinet Secretary, as he prepares to launch or to vie for the presidency come 2027, so that people can have a lot of confidence in him. As we all know, Matiang'i really performed well during his time as the Cabinet Secretary under Uhuru's government. So we shall be watching if he'll succeed to unseat Ruto. All the best to him. From Newstime Desk, we say thank you guys for watching. Till next time.